Well, good morning, guys and gals. It's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. And I've been thinking about it over the weekend, and I came up with the decision that I'm going to fix this finish fixing this snowblower. And the two things that I have to do yet, three things will make that, is number one, I'm going to put electric start on it. It says right on here, this engine has provisions for electric starter kit, and the Shade Tree Fix-It Man has one in stock. And here's the starter button hookup, and it has two screw holes right here that it screws into. And then we get down here on the ground, and you get up in here, and it actually has two bolts already there. So I'm going to pull those two out and match them up, because this takes 4 bolts to hold the starter in place. 2 there, and 2 more on the bottom. And yeah, then we'll give that a try. And then it's not critical, but I think I'm going to see if I can freeze up. No, it's already frozen. Then I'm going to see if I can free up this drift buster. And I don't know, I'm guessing it probably has a bearing there on the end, or a bushing, and they are adjustable up and down. So all I gotta do is take these 2 bolts off, one on each side on the outside, and see if I can get that freed up. And then I'll see if I can find a chain that will go from here down to here. You know what I mean? I hate to give up this steering box, as I called it, but oh well. And the reason that I decided to do this is because I have a coupon for Harbor Freight that I can get a lift, one of those motorcycle lifts, you know, a drive up on one, for $299.99. That's 300 bucks. So I'm thinking if I can finish fixing this up and get 150 for it, I'll offer it online for probably like 175 or maybe even 200. And we're going to advertise it as a Ratrod snowblower, and I will clean it. I'm going to power wash it, but I'm not going to paint it or anything. It's going to stay rusty and crusty. It's not rotted anywhere. It just has lots of, well, shall we say, patina. Oh yeah, that's the word, patina. So, yep, that's what we'll do. And electric start is almost a necessity here in Minnesota in the depths of January, when we sometimes get temperatures down to 25 below zero, and even with a lighter weight oil in the motor, it's still pretty hard to start these puppies by hand. And I just had one of my former customers come by today, and he wanted to know about putting electric start on his snowblower. And I told him I had retired for the second time, and I just noticed something else that's missing on this. Right down here. The skid plate is gone. And it's gone on both sides, as I see. That might be another issue that I have to address. Yep, because it should have one on there. So you can adjust it up off of the ground, because you don't want it picking up stones off of your driveway if you have a stone driveway, like many people out here do. So, yep, I'll have to think about that. I don't think I have any spares of those laying around, but it'll be easy enough to make one. A couple of pieces of round bar stock and a plate to bolt it on with. Yeah, so maybe the price is going up a little bit higher, but, so maybe we'll start it at 200 bucks and hope we get 175. And then, well, whatever I make on this other snow blower, I'm just gonna save my money up and see if I can come up with enough money to buy that lift. The coupon is good till the first of the year. So wouldn't that be cool if I could have a hydraulic lift here? And eventually I would end up putting wings on it, because they're only, I think, they're only 2 foot wide, which is fine for right now, but once I get going in reassembling the goofy cart, well, I know it's 4 feet wide across the front axle, but right now 2 feet wide is more than sufficient for working on the goofy cart frame. And then as we progress along, I can go to the scrap metal yard or secondhand metal yard and see about getting a couple of wings that I could weld on. Can't bolt them on a Harbor Freight because their flange on the edge of their top goes upward and not downward, so you don't end up with a smooth top on it. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. We got to get this done first. And so hold on to your hats and I will bring you back. Now, one of the things you have to do to be able to get that starter in there is to pull the gas tank. And that's a pretty simple thing because it's only 2 bolts right here on the top, right there, and then it just lifts off this bottom bracket. And the only reason you have to take this off is because that bottom bracket gets right in the way of getting in to these top 2 bolts on the starter. So we're going to pop this bracket right off, which is only 1 bolt holding it. Just like that. Then it's a simple thing. Look at that. That's just sitting in there. I guess I'll take that out of the way just so I don't have it bothering me. And I'm going to pull one of these bolts out and match it up. See, this is a special bolt here on the top one anyway. Can you see that? Yeah, it has a shoulder on it. So it's made so that right on here, slide you down here a little bit more, woo! So that these flanges here can just slide up underneath there. So I guess I actually don't have to take these off, but I wanted to take one off just to be able to make sure I got the right size instead of running back and forth between the 2 places, you know what I mean? Between the toolbox and here. So I'm going to get 2 bolts to match on the bottom. They'll bolt right flat in because they have a solid flange on the starter. I'm going to stick this bolt back in place here and snug it up. Tighten them up tight. Slide this up. Oh, getting ahead of yourself, George. We're going to take this block off plate off here, and looks like it's just 1 screw. That's easy enough to do. While we're talking about starters, I did a little investigation yesterday on my Arian's tractor that I just bought, and rear engine rider. Make sure I get the set to go off and not on. There we go. Couple of taps with that. As I was saying, I was looking at the Ariens riding mower, and I was looking for the numbers on the motor. And what I discovered is, if you look down in here, let me slide you down in there because I'm sure my head was in the way. But if you look down in here, see the teeth back in there on the flywheel? Yeah, there aren't any on that Ariens 10 horsepower motor. No, siree Bob, there aren't any. So that one was never intended to have electric start. However, you can put a ring gear on the flywheel, and I have one that I took off another motor. I'm not sure if it's the right one yet or not, but we will find out. So we're going to stick this back in here. If I can get it to slide in there. Usually you can. Maybe I'm going to have to take those top bolts out. Oh, there we go. There we go. She's up in there. Get my 2 bolts started on the bottom. So yeah, I've figured out what I need for a carburetor for it. And once you know the replacement carburetor for that motor, that 10 horsepower motor, is almost $90, $86. But I'm going to do the same thing that I did on my other 10 horsepower motor, which was the same deal. The exact replacement was $86 and change, almost $90. And but you can go and buy one that is just a little bit less expensive, like $14, with free shipping. And the only difference is you have to change the choke linkage. And I can certainly do that and save myself $70 in the process. On the right, so line up the bolt on top. Here we go. And we're right here. Okay, now for the test. See if our starter works. The fork nut was taken out of whatever I took it out of, as I recall. neutral, let her go. I'm thinking that those are brass bushings in there that are gummed up and seized up. Looks like it on both ends. I'm going to clean them up and I'll bring you back. Okay, those are definitely brass bushings. The inserts are not. My guess is the inserts are supposed to spin freely inside of there, so I'm going to have to try and get the whole unit out of there. And I'll bring you back, or maybe I'll show you how I'm doing it. Okay, so here's how we're going to take this out. I've got a 3/8 bolt here, and I have a 3/4 inch Taiwan socket, which is the same size as the outside of the bushing, and it'll go over the insert. And then I have a heavy duty washer here that has knurling on it. And we're going to screw this down in here. Yeah, I can pull it up quite a bit, I think. And I have my adjustable length ratchet. Screw this down inside here, and it's come to a dead stop. Maybe I don't even need the socket. Maybe I can just, whoa. Maybe I can dump that jar of bolts over. Well, I don't know about it. You can't see what I'm seeing. Here it is. There's that sleeve. And it's coming right out. There's the other end. Let me bring this over so you can see it. Let me back you out here. And that shaft runs all the way inside, and it was seized up to that bronze bushing on both ends, it looks like. So I'm going to clean those up, and I'll clean the inside of the bushings up, and I'll put some anti-seize grease in there. These bushings will already have oil in them. They're probably oil impregnated bushings. Yeah, but we'll clean them up. You can see where there's a little bit of wear on there, but not bad. That bushing is about 2 inches long down in there. You're not going to be able to see it, but take my word for it. It's about 2 inches long. And I have greased both ends with anti-seize. And now we're going to mount it back on a snowblower. But not before I find a chain. There it is. Now to adjust it up. All the chain that I have on the Goofy cart originated from snowblowers. Most all of it has been replaced now. You can see some of the new stuff in there. You can see some of the old ones. Some of them I had to throw out because they were so rusted they were jammed up. But yeah, now we're ready to try it. Right there, chain lube, full can, got it from the dump. Where else? They say that necessity is the mother of invention. And yeah, you ever try to get a square drive out like this one down in here where you don't have much room to swing a wrench? Well, here's my solution to the problem. Socket, 3/8 drive. In my case, I had to use an adapter to 1/2-inch drive. This is a 10mm hex, and then a 10mm socket put on backwards, which gives you a square drive, 3/8, which just happens to go right on there. Oh yeah, and don't forget the duct tape to hold your 1/2 gallon bucket on there. I'm going to try and get that plug out real quick and then stick this in there, but we'll see how that works. Oh yeah, it'll save some of the mess. I've already power washed it. It'll save most of the mess anyway. Okay, let's wrap this baby up. Pull up our throttle. We're going to give it choke. And not quite so much throttle. Hit the button. Oh, make sure it's in neutral back there. And the clutch is not engaged. Before I forget, it's been power washed as good as it's going to get, and this is going to be called the Ratrod snowblower because, well, we've got some old parts and some new parts, and it got exactly the right patina going on for a rat rod, you know what I mean? And we got our homemade skid plates down here. There's one. No, they're not adjustable, so whatever the homeowner wants to do, they'll have to change it around themselves. Yeah, get some fingerprints on it because the paint ain't completely dry when I was putting it on. But they do the job, and they'll keep it up off of the ground just enough. So we'll call this one a success. Yeah, we got the 8 horsepower motor going, and you know, so it's got the big motor in an old-time vehicle. It was partly sunny today. It's getting dark now, and it's clouding over. We're expecting some rain, and but it was warm enough. I started the day like you see me with my hood up and a vest on over my sweatshirt, and in the middle of the day when I was out here working, I had this off first, and then I pulled my hood back, and then I pulled my sweatshirt off. I was down to my short sleeve shirt that I have on underneath here. Yep, it was up like 65, I think. So we'll make that 13 minutes of 7, 50s. It's like 56. 60 is the small line. But anyway, it's a little bit nippy out here. Thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope your day is going well. Bye for now.